Welcome on into HeartlandCollegeSports.com. I'm Pete Mundo. Week 4 is on the horizon, and we are getting you set with our picks against the spread. And we are brought to you by our friends at MyBookie.com. Use our promo code BIG12, that is Big12, for a 100% sign-up bonus. That's how you get in the mix at MyBookie.com. And our promo code BIG12 is where you want to be to double your money right out of the gates. And we've got finally conference play in full swing this weekend. And let me walk you through our picks. They're 9-10 on the season against the spread. Don't love that number, but I feel good about our picks here in week 4. I'm feeling better about these than I have the last couple of weeks. So first we've got Texas Tech. I'm rolling with the Longhorns -7 points against the Red Raiders. First off, Texas is better than we'd think lately against the number. Texas is 4-2 against the spread, 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games. They're 7-3 against the spread against Texas Tech in their last 10 meetings. And I think Bijan Robinson's going to run all over this Tech defense, which right now looks good on paper, giving up just 54 yards per game. But I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it. I think that the Longhorns are going to go to town against this Texas Tech rushing defense, and they have not seen anybody close to Bijan Robinson. They've played Houston. Dana Holgorsen runs the ball. Passes the ball. Doesn't run the ball. They played Stephen F. Austin, and then they played FIU, who they were leading by 20 points most of the game, so FIU is not going to run the ball. So that ranking of Texas Tech, second in the Big 12 in rushing defense, is a farce. All right? Bijan Robinson's going to have a game. Texas at home. I like them. Steve Sarkisian woke this team up last week after that brutal loss at Arkansas. I don't see any issues taking place in this game on Saturday morning, and I am rolling with Texas -7. Then we've got, and those of you asking, yes, this is our special Paul Feinbaum clown shirt. So, yes, this is what we're rocking here tonight, giving you our Week 4 picks against the spread for the Big 12. TCU -9.5. I am all in on TCU, not only because Gary Patterson wants that iron skillet back after losing the game 2 years ago by 3 points, and then last year, remember, the game was canceled because of COVID issues for the Horned Frogs, and then SMU this week is talking smack. How stupid are these guys at SMU to talk smack against TCU and Gary Patterson when you've won this meeting, I think, twice in the past 11 matchups? What a bunch of doofuses. I mean, are you kidding me? Just a terrible job by SMU. What are they thinking over there? I can't figure it out. And I've seen the Gary Patterson press conferences this week. He's gonna run this score up if he can. And also look at what's happening in Vegas. Only 45% of the money is coming in on TCU, but the line has moved from TCU -8.5 to TCU -9.5. What does that mean? That means that the big money's going in on TCU. And that's why the spread, they want you to bet SMU. Despite the fact that more bets are coming in on SMU, the big money is coming in on TCU. So I'm on TCU -9.5. Then we've got Iowa State taking on Baylor in Waco. And I am rolling with Iowa State -7. All right. Iowa State starts getting better as conference play gets here. And, I look at this game in particular, and it comes down to Iowa State's rushing attack and Breece Hall, who finally got going last week, going up against a Baylor run defense that is ranked 8th in the Big 12. Baylor's rushing defense, which has played Texas State, right? They played Texas State, Texas Southern, and then Kansas, is ranked 8th in the Big 12. What is Breece Hall going to do against that rushing defense? He is going to go to town against them. That's then going to open things up for the passing game. And I just have to see Baylor. I've got to see Baylor do it against better competition. That's where I've got to see them against better competition before I buy into them. If they win this week, you can tape my mouth shut and you can, feed me to the wolves, have fun with me, rip me up and down. That's fine. But Iowa State, I'm not saying the offense is fixed, but that defense has played the best defense, one of the best defenses, not just in the Big 12, but in the country. Think Gary Bohannon's going to have some issues with that. And then on the other side of the ball, Breece Hall gets it going early, opens up the passing game, and Iowa State wins this one by about 10 points. So there you go. I know some comments coming in right now on Instagram Live. Of course, we're on Facebook Live as well. We'll be on YouTube as well. Post it there. This is not an anti-Baylor thing, all right? I mean, it's not. And I do think there's a part of Matt Campbell who's going to remember that 2019 game when, the whole drama with the tents on the sidelines and all that stuff. I think he'll remember that a little bit. Then we've got Duke taking on Kansas. Duke is 16-point favorite, and I'm rolling with the Blue Devils. KU, for as bad as they've been, they don't get a lot of love in Vegas. Like, they don't cover the spread. Kansas is 2-10-1 in their last 13 games. Not straight up, but against the spread. Like, that's really bad for a really bad team and a really bad program. All right? Really bad. So, Duke is a team that is not necessarily good, but they're at home. They've been at home most of the season. KU's coming off a conference loss to Baylor by 38 points. I don't see how KU is going to keep themselves in this game, within a couple of scores at 16. Technically, that's 2 scores if you include 2-point conversions. So I think Duke's, comfortable at home. They're going to roll to a victory, and KU will lose this one by more than 16 points. So I'm going Duke minus the 16 points at home. Then we've got and no, I have not been drinking tonight, guys. I'm not. No, I don't start drinking until a little bit later. All right, and then we go ham, but I'm not drinking yet. K-State, Oklahoma State in Stillwater. Give me K-State +6 in this one. Here are some stats for Kansas State I got to share with you. 8-4 against the spread in their last 12 games. 8-2 against the spread against Oklahoma State in their last 10 games. 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 road games. Kansas State is a covering machine. All right, that's what they are. Oklahoma State's offense stinks right now. Absolutely stinks. It's not that Oklahoma State can't win this game, but if they do, it's one of those 21-20 games, like last week against Boise State. That's what it is. So I can't sit here and say, yeah, I'm very confident in Oklahoma State, covering a 6-point spread against anybody right now. I mean, seriously, anybody. So, and Kansas State, I know Will Howard's going into a tough spot on the road. Skylar Thompson's backup. But if they get that running game early and going early, and they've got options in that running game beyond Deuce Vaughn, Kansas State can win this game outright. And I've seen 5.5 points as the spread. I'd buy the 0.5 point to play it safe. But this game has 2017 written all over it to me either way. So I feel very good about Kansas State in this one covering that 6-point spread against Oklahoma State in Stillwater. And last but not least, we've got Oklahoma and West Virginia. The Sooners are 16-point favorites, and my pick, OU minus 16 against the Mountaineers. They've got West Virginia's number. OU is 5-0-1 against the spread against West Virginia. I mean, that's they just dominate West Virginia. They've got their number. And with the way OU played last week, listen, I've got concerns about Spencer Rattler. I've talked about those concerns extensively. I've talked about those concerns. But they're home, coming off of last week. Bad game against Nebraska. I think Lincoln Riley whips these guys into shape a little bit. I think Rattler has a big game. And I think that the Sooners will roll to a comfortable victory. Jarrett Doege, I've got no faith whatsoever in Jarrett Doege going on the road and keeping this game close. All right? I've got zero faith in that whatsoever. So I don't see any way that Doege is going to go into Norman and help this West Virginia team keep it close. I mean, he almost was the reason they lost to Virginia Tech. And the Mountaineers coming off that huge old rivalry game last week against the Hokies, I'm just not feeling good about them in this one. I'm not. And I think Oklahoma is going to bounce back after that game against Nebraska and roll to a comfortable victory, which they really haven't done. I mean, they didn't do it against Tulane. Western Carolina is Western Carolina. They didn't do it last week against Nebraska. I think that they're due. So here are the picks. Texas -7 against Texas Tech. TCU -9.5 against SMU. Iowa State -7 at Baylor. Duke -16 against Kansas. Kansas State +6 at Oklahoma State. And OU -16 against West Virginia. There are the picks against the spread for the Big 12 this week, guys. Appreciate you joining us here on the show. I'm Pete Mundo. And by the way, our friends at MyBookie have a great offer for you right now. That offer is doubling your first-time deposit with our promo code BIG12. That is BIG12 at MyBookie.com to double your first-time deposit. Use it for your college football picks. Use it for your NFL picks on Sunday. They've been great partners of us and this website for several years running now. We appreciate you guys. Enjoy the games on Saturday. Subscribe to our podcast, by the way. Got a lot more content up on there than we do on video. And we'll talk to you guys on Sunday for our recap of Week 4. Have a great night. Enjoy the games. We'll talk to you Sunday. I'm Pete Mundo. We're HeartlandCollegeSports.com.